Hey folks, it's Brad from We Be Fishing. That's right. Thanks for joining us right here today on this viewable podcast right here on YouTube. Now we are a spin-off version of the B&T Catfishing Adventures channel, but we talk about everything here today. Now we are going to talk about some catfish today, or catfishing, but it's a different topic altogether. And it's a little debate that's going on. Now, what sparked this is there has been some news out about a record catfish being caught in Ohio. Now, another famous YouTuber, or a famous YouTuber, we're not famous, we ain't going there, but a famous YouTuber brought this on his show that aired today, and they were talking about this fish and whether this should count or not in the record books. You see, all right, first off, it was caught by a 15-year-old. Now, you know, if they have license, whatever, it was legally done within the state of Ohio. Now, this catfish was a blue catfish, and it came in at a whopping 101 pounds. Right. Caught by a 15-year-old girl. Now, here's the catch, where she was jug fishing. Oh, okay. Now, we understand some states do not recognize record fish if they're caught on jugs, trot lines, limb lines, things like that. They only can be caught on rod and reel. All right, so that is part of the hook here, and this is really what we're getting down to when we talk about it today. Should that be considered fishing, all right, or sport fishing? That's pretty much how they title this. Rod and reel is considered sport fishing, all right, and jug fishing and limb lines and trot lines, sometimes they're all grouped together, put in a totally different category. Now, some states recognize this catches, but it's in a subcategory group, right? And the rod and reel catches are in a separate group altogether, which I do believe that's fair. Now, you also say, yeah, but only sport fishing records should count. Well, here we go. Here's the gist of the whole thing. Here is what we're getting. First, we gotta stop. We gotta congratulate Jalen, whether that record holds up or not in the state of Ohio or not. 15-year-old girl out pulling in 101-pound blue catfish. You gotta give it up to that, right? Give it up for her on that. Congratulations, young lady. Fantastic accomplishment. I'm sure it was a good time. Now, let me quickly also insert here into the conversation. She did return this fish back to the water safely alive. Very great job on the conservation there, making sure a quality fish like this of good genes is back in the water so it can go out there and do its thing and hopefully help make sure we have more fish like that in the future. Great job, young lady. Well done. All right, back at it. Now, is this considered sport fishing, jug fishing? All right. Well, I'm going to say I've got a couple of points to make here, so if you would stick with me on this. When jug fishing, I know, because we do, Miss Tammy and I, if you've watched our channel, you know, us out there on the channel at the B&T Catfishing Adventure, you know that sometimes I do it alone, or sometimes Miss Tammy is with me and we're out jug fishing. Now, it's a lot of fun. It is a blast. Now, me, if I'm catching one on rod, that's great. If I'm catching one on a jug, that's okay too with me. I'm good with either one. I absolutely love both, all right? Here's my point though. When we set jugs out, here's what a lot of people don't realize. When we're putting jugs out, we use the same type of strategies we would use if we're using a rod and reel. We look at the depths of the water, all right? We look to see the structure, and so on and so forth. Now, we may have these jugs stationary, all right? For instance, if you've got some, washed out area, or excuse me, some down lines or brush pile or something in the area, we might set something maybe with a live bait on it, but stationary right there in that area, hoping for a big, flathead or something. Or we may set these lines up, checking out what the fish column is, right? And set the lines at that specific height so we can just either leave them anchored up, or we check the depths and make sure we're going to be safe if we let these lines drift. Now, drifting would be like the same with your rod and reel. If you're drifting and dragging baits or whatever, it's the same concept in doing that. So you're getting out there, you're using the same type of bait, you're using the same strategies and not. Now, here's where it does vary for me, and I think there should, obviously, like any type of fishing, be regulations on it. There's some states out there, obviously, that do not allow jug fishing whatsoever. Then there are states out there that put basically no stipulations on it whatsoever. My state right here, the Commonwealth of Kentucky, actually we have a 50 jug limit. Now that's 50 hooks out there. So your chances of catching a fish is really, really good. I don't like necessarily having that many out there. I would say 20, 25 is plenty. Again, when we do it, we're doing it for entertainment purposes. My state allows you to check your baits within 24 hours. I think that's too long period of time. I generally like to keep them within sight, or if I leave for a moment, I'm back in 20, 30 minutes tops. Because we want to make sure we get to those jugs quickly, we check them, and we're doing it for basically, usually we're doing this for entertainment purposes. And so we're checking them, getting them off the line, and releasing them quickly, so not to stress the fish out too badly. All right, so with all of that rambling going on there, I'm trying to make the point that with us doing the same type of thing, especially if you're doing it on a more limited basis, there are times when I'm out jug fishing, especially if I'm by myself, where I may only set 7 lines out, so that's 7 hooks. I know a lot of people that are fishing from their boat that are using 6, 7, 9 rods, whatever, right? So, same type of comparison as far as the number of baits in the water, all right? So, there you go. There is that aspect. We're doing the same type of research, the area of the water, using the same bait, trying for the same type of fish as somebody with a rod and reel. Now, here's another kicker, they'll put it in there to see if this should fall in a sporting fishing category, all right? Again, there are people out there today that are doing jug fishing tournaments for catfish. That's right, catfish jugging tournaments are out there, folks. Look it up, look for it, find it, get involved if you like that kind of thing, and so on. But, so with that being said, with it being a tournament, have we now established that is now considered a sport? They are going for awards, they're doing point standings, and so on and so forth, maybe to find out who the yearly winner is of the contest and all that. So that is definitely a sport, I would say. Now, I want you guys to chime in on this in the comments and think about it. Again, I'm not somebody that likes 500 hooks in the water and leaving them for 24 hours or 2 days. That's not my belief. That's something I'm against. So again, just like I'm against, a lot of different activities that some guys out there are doing with rod and reels. There's some of that type of fishing that they're doing I don't agree with. We're not going to get into that. That's for another show. But if it's done, especially with within the rules of the state, and you catch a big fish like this, should it be allowed as a record fish within the state? All right. Should this girl, for instance, Miss Parker, have the record in Ohio for the largest blue catfish there? That's my question. That's the long and short of it. That's where we're going with it. Should this record count in Ohio? Or if you're on the fence about it, let's do this, and let's bring to part two here. Or should it go into a separate category, specifically jug fishing, all right? Or non-rod and reel catch. How about that? A non-rod or reel catch in Ohio, all right? So that would still allow for somebody to come out there, and if they caught 100-pound even, they would get the rod and reel record if they caught it on a rod and reel, using everything correctly, falling within the state laws. So that's what I want to hear from you right here. Now, if you hear this topic come up again by another YouTuber, you probably do a better job explaining all this than I just did. I am, needless to say, not dressed in my regular attire. I am out of town. Had a wedding to attend, my niece's wedding. Congratulations there on that. She married a wonderful guy. I'm very excited about that. We're about to take off, Miss Tammy and I, and go to the reception here momentarily. So hopefully we're going to get back and have a little fun doing that. But again, back to the point, please do us a favor. First, give us a thumbs up on this episode for Miss Parker and her catch, and especially the fact that she also returned this fish back to the water safe and soundly alive. She did, and her family did a wonderful job to make sure that happened. But secondly, give us your opinion on, do you think that jug fishing catches should be in the record book if it's a record catch, or maybe in a subcategory? So maybe you have the non-rod and reel section, and then you've got the rod and reel section of biggest catches, record catches in a state. Tell us what you think. We greatly appreciate it. And again, she did a wonderful job out there. Folks, get kids out. Get them out there. I mean, they may be the next one to catch a huge fish, just like this young lady did in Ohio. Folks, we hope you have a great evening. Thank you for watching. If you stuck around and listened to all that, we do appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. When you do, you get not only the We Be Fishing podcast, viewable podcast right here on YouTube, but of course the B&T Catfishing Adventures channel as well. You guys, be sure to take care, and we'll look for you next time right back here on We Be Fishing. Have a great night.